Yo guys, what is going on? It's Lukey here and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be going through the best AK-47 class on Modern Warfare. Now, I definitely recommend you guys using this weapon. I've been using it a bunch and every single time I use this weapon I've never done bad. Every single game I always do good, I always get some feeds and I always just have fun whilst using this weapon. Now, before I do get into the class setup, if you guys do enjoy this video, please go ahead and drop a sub and a like. And also, I'd like to quickly mention that me and my friend, the Gibbinator, are doing a dual giveaway for one copy of Modern Warfare. Or if you already have Modern Warfare and you still win the giveaway, then we'll be giving the winner £50 on PayPal or a Amazon gift card, or however you guys want the £50. Now, all you gotta do to enter this giveaway is go ahead and subscribe to my channel and his channel. His channel is in the link in the description. Also, there is a link to a tweet. Basically, just go ahead to that tweet and it will say all the information and all the ways that you guys can enter it. So yeah, best of luck to anyone who does enter it. And without further ado, let's get into the class setup. So, the KN-57, first of all, I like to go ahead and use the suppressor on it. Now, the suppressor on this weapon is just very nice. It just feels right to have it on an AK-47. Next of all, I like to use the heavy duty barrel. This is a basically attachment that makes you be able to get longer range kills. So it's kind of like long barrel in a way, but it's a bit different. I'll explain it later in the video how it works and stuff like that. Anyway, the next I like to use is the Solo Zero Optic Mini Reflex, but once I get to level 30 I'm going to be using the last optic sight, which is called the Viper Reflex sight, which is probably my favourite sight in the game, but I do have to get to level 30 on the weapon to actually go ahead and unlock it. And also, as you guys can see on the perk, I like to use Sleight of Hand. This is just so I can reload faster. And then lastly but not least, I like to go ahead and use the Vertical Foregrip. Now, all of these attachments on this weapon just make for the perfect class, and if you guys want to know which perks I use as well, by the way, I like to use the EOD perk. This is basically flak jacket, so you guys can survive claymores and stuff like that, because if you guys haven't realised yet, in this game there is claymores absolutely everywhere, so it is very helpful to just go ahead and use the EOD like flak jacket perk, and this will basically stop you from dying over and over again to claymores, because before this perk was unlocked and before I used this perk, literally every game I would be dying on streaks all the time to claymores and grenades and stuff like that. And also, if the enemy team does get score streaks somehow, then you guys will be able to survive those a little bit better as well. So I definitely recommend you guys using the EOD perk. Second of all, on the perks, I like to use Ghost. This basically obviously just keeps me off the minimap if they get a UAV, and it also gets rid of the little skull. So basically when you kill an enemy, usually on the enemy's like screen, there will be a little skull on their screen where you killed them, so they know where you are. So it'll actually get rid of that, and it will also keep you off the minimap once they get a UAV. So it is very helpful for staying alive longer and dying less. Now, to make this even better, I like to go ahead and use Suppressor. Now, the reason I use Suppressor is once again so I stay off the minimap whilst I shoot, and also it suppresses the sound of my gun, so people aren't going to hear me as well when I'm shooting, and that way they're not going to know exactly where I am. The next thing on this class that I use is the heavy duty barrel. Basically what this does is it allows you to have longer damage range. So basically when you are shooting someone at a long range, you're going to have more damage on your weapon, because if you guys don't know, the longer the bullet, like the longer the enemy is, obviously the bullet has to travel further. So at longer ranges your bullets are actually going to be weaker than at closer ranges, because it loses velocity, which is like the speed the bullet goes, and then it speeds down, and once it hits the target it doesn't do as much damage. So basically this allows you to get those longer range kills a lot easier and in pretty much like the same bullets as if they were close up, because it's not going to lose its like velocity, it's not going to lose the speed it's traveling, and once it hits the target it will do a lot more damage than normal. So it is actually very helpful for you if you guys want to go ahead and try and pick up those longer range kills. Now, the next thing on this weapon I like to use, as you guys saw, was the Solo Zero Optic Sight. Now, the optic sight for me is probably one of the best optic sights. I'm not using it in the background in the gameplay at the moment. This is just a nice game that I did, so I thought I'd include it in the background in the gameplay. But yeah, so the Solo Zero optic sight is basically like a mini reflex. It's basically like an ELO sight, if you guys remember that from all the previous Call of Duty. So I definitely recommend you guys using it. It's very small, but it is very helpful. So it's not in your face, it doesn't take up too much of the screen, and you guys can still see a lot of people very easily, and it is just very good to get a better accuracy. Now, the next thing, as you guys saw, I used was sleight of hand as my perk attachment. Now this basically allows me to reload faster, which is super helpful because on this weapon you only get about 30 bullets. So in those 30 bullets, if you are accurate, then you guys will probably be able to pick up a maximum of about 4 kills or so if you guys are very accurate with your bullets. But if you guys aren't accurate, then you guys are going to be able to reloading a bunch of times, which isn't going to be good. If you reload all the time, then obviously you're just going to end up dying a bunch of times, because reloading is one of the ways that most people die, because obviously when you're reloading you are vulnerable and you can easily get killed. So having sleight of hand on really does help, because you guys can be reloading faster and you guys will be safer faster, because you guys are going to be ready to shoot and your magazine is going to be full a lot quicker than normal. So it's going to be very helpful, especially if you guys are a rushy player and like to get in their faces. This is the perfect attachment for you guys. Now the next thing, as you guys saw, I like to use on this weapon is going to be vertical foregrip. Now on this weapon I think you get 3 choices of a grip. You get the vertical foregrip, which basically allows your recoil, which is up and down, to be less, or you get a horizontal foregrip, which basically makes your recoil from left to right a little bit less, or you get a bipod, which the bipod is kind of useless unless you are like a campy player, because basically what the bipod does is allows you to perch your weapon on top of like fences or anything like that. So if there's like an object in front of you and you guys like crouch down on it, you guys can actually go ahead and perch your weapon down like on a window or anything like that. But only campy players really use that, so I don't really suggest it unless you guys are going to camp. Then go ahead and use it, but personally I would go ahead and recommend using the vertical foregrip, because that's where there is most recoil on this weapon. The most recoil on this weapon is like the up and down recoil. It mainly goes up, so sticking the vertical foregrip on is definitely going to help you guys get a better accuracy with this weapon. Now that is pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy. I definitely recommend you guys trying this class out. It is very good, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.